Oh man, they're gonna trip out at COMPUTEX when I bring this thing and we fill it up with thermal grease. Welcome back to the channel. So earlier today, something pretty special and unique was delivered to the lab. As you can see, it's your standard type claw machine, same like you can find throughout all the coin-op arcades, located in Taiwan and also the rest of Asia. We got it from a dealer in Kaohsiung. This idea came to me about 2 months ago when I was thinking about what I would do at COMPUTEX this year. I figured since there was no EVGA KP hardware to show off, maybe this year I could do something totally different. Now, usually during COMPUTEX, I will go to the Namgang exhibition hall and I'll give away a ton of KPx thermal grease, stickers, and t-shirts to all the press, media, and overclockers that come to see me there. So I was starting to think maybe I could put this thing at the G-Skill booth and let it give away all my thermal grease and swag for the whole day. The plan ultimately depends on G-Skill and whether or not they're gonna let me bring it. I haven't told them yet, so I'm really not sure what they're gonna say. Now I'm betting that this machine can be rigged just like any other claw machine in Taiwan. On the weekends, me and my wife take our 8-year-old daughter to one of the many coin-op arcades located throughout Taipei City, so I'm pretty familiar with how sketchy these things can be. There is actually a lot of YouTubers in Taiwan that vlog these claw machines, and there is some skill involved with getting the prizes closer and closer to the drop, but the odds are really stacked against you with these. Okay, so I've been poking around and playing with this thing for a few days, and I actually found some really interesting behavior when it comes to this claw. The one thing I really wanted to do with this machine was to actually see if I could make the claw's strength unusually weak like I see on a lot of other machines here in Taiwan that I've played. I think I can make this machine struggle to hold on to any size KPx, even just a 1G. It ultimately depends on how I set it, but I can make it really stealth if I want. This kind of thing is the usual deceptive behavior that these machines used to have before the government here outlawed it. So the newer machines will actually show how many coins are required to get the prize, and they're forbidden to manipulate the claw's strength at any time without the player knowing it. So as I've said before, this claw's strength can be fully pre-programmed through a voltage signal. There's actually 3 times that this machine can manipulate the claw's strength. Once is down here when it grabs the item. The second time is when it's pulling up. And the third time is as it's moving over to the prize chute. I actually think there's a bit of an art to this deception because it's way more believable if the claws come down and forcefully grab something and then drop it once it gets up to here, as if it just can't pick it up. I have the voltage on the claws set the strongest down here, and then as it gets up, it decreases more and more as it gets towards the prize chute. So now, when I go to drop the claw, you can see the strength of around 34 volts on the grabbing stage of the play sequence. It always goes to around 34 or 35 volts, but when it gets up to here, it will always drop. And you can see the voltage is like 34, 35, then about here it's like 14, and then up around here I got it set to around 8 or 9 volts to guarantee you don't get this prize. No matter how many times I do it, it will never make it to the prize chute no matter what, every single time. It grabs it, but it will always drop it. So that's one way they get you on these older style claw machines, but there's actually another way. There is this thing called a set gift amount. Say the set gift amount is 5 coins on the machine. So for 5 plays, it's going to exhibit that voltage drop behavior, but on the 6th play, it will let you win. And when it detects a prize being dropped in the prize chute by the optical sensor, it will reset that voltage mechanism and stop you from winning again for the next 5 plays. That gift amount is some predetermined value that the operator will set depending on what the value of the prizes in the machine are. Now, currently I have the gift amount on this machine set to 3 coins, and you've already seen it run 2 times and not win a prize. So now the voltage will force high on the 3rd try and let you win the prize. And you'll see it here. Watch the voltage. It stays literally at 35 volts all the way to the prize drop, and now you just won. And because the prize was seen by the sensor, it will reset that counter back to dropping the voltage again. Now, being the overclocker that I am, I couldn't leave this thing alone at 34 volts. So I went back and tried to figure out a way to force the highest possible voltage setting on all 3 stages. And using a VR on each stage, I'm now able to hit around 48 volts, forced all of the time. And it's easily more than enough to pick up any 30G bag of grease. Check this out. Every single time. Watch this voltage. So you see it's at 48 volts. Every single time to the prize chute. And that's really what I want. I mean, this is a COMPUTEX giveaway machine. I'm not going to leave it at COMPUTEX to trick people.
Or maybe I should.
And pretty much that's what I learned about this machine and how it can trick you when you're playing it. But of course, I didn't stop there. Now, I'm sure some of you guys remember this thing. This is actually the very first LN2 pot that I ever created. I called it the Ice Dragon. And I made this thing maybe 2002 or 2003. So it's like 23 years old. And I actually tried to see if this machine could pick it up. And unfortunately it failed, even on 48 volts. And it's not enough to pick this up. And this thing weighs around 2.5 kg. So I called the machine operator, one of the guys that sells these, and he said that they're good for maybe 1.5 up to 2 kg, but over 2 kg, no way. So it was a fail. But it can pick up this. This is my T-Rex top, and this thing weighs maybe around half a kg, I think. So if it can pick this thing up every single time, which it can, then nobody should have any problem getting thermal grease at the show. In fact, I'm almost positive every time that this thing's... Oh! Okay, well, the machine is okay. Anyways, now that this thing is tuned and ready for the show, let's fill it with KPx.